So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven, how do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. We have a very, very special edition tonight, and why is it special? It is because of the one and only Scott Ferguson. He is here. He is now. He is waiting. He's chomping at the bit. He can't wait for Brian to be quiet so he can get on and talk about what has made him so wildly successful over the years. And I cannot wait to share his amazing mind, his brilliance, his genius, his work ethic, his authenticity, his everything. I mean, this guy's amazing, and I cannot wait to share him with you in a moment. But real quick, the Mind, Body, Business Show. What is it? It is a show that I had developed for entrepreneurs, by entrepreneurs. And what we do is we bring on successful entrepreneurs, people that are in it to win it, that are not just kicking the tires as a hobbyist, as a way of comparing. And the reason is because we are here to help you to get to that level of success faster by revealing their secrets, the guests that come on the show, by revealing their secrets on how they achieved the level of success they currently have. And thereby, all you need to do is simply take notes and then take action by copying, or a fancier way of saying it is modeling what they do for success. And that's the beautiful thing about this show. It's 100% free information, but its value is beyond measure. And so be sure to pay attention when Scott comes on. I'm telling you, this guy is amazing. He's served our military. He's an amazing guy. I love this guy. And I've never met him in person. It doesn't matter. I love him. He's an awesome guy. He's like my brother by another mother. And here we go, the Mind, Body, Business Show. And also another one of the things I learned is the three traits, the three pillars of success, I like to call them, that I learned over the course of probably 10 years or so of studying just successful people, really honing in on what made them perhaps more successful than yours truly. And I came up with these three common things that kept bubbling to the top. And you might have guessed they are part of the very name of this show, Mind, Body, Business. Mind being mindset. To a person, each of these successful individuals had developed a supremely powerful, positive, yet most importantly, flexible mindset. They also, to a person, took care of themselves, body, physically, no kidding, through working out, exercising, and through nutrition. And then business, that is so multifaceted. There are so many skill sets that one must master in order to be successful in business. Things like sales, marketing, team building, systematizing, leadership. I could go on for quite some time. The good news is you as an individual, to master one thing can take a very, very long time. The good news is you don't have to master every single skill set, not even all the ones I just mentioned, yourself. If you were to master just one skill set, and I'll be looking forward to hearing what Scott's opinion on this one is. One skill set, if you just mastered this one, then the others can fall into place quite nicely and easily. If you want to know what those are, just raise your hand and say, yeah, Brian, I know. I want to know what that one skill set is. Okay, you don't have to raise your hand. I'm going to tell you anyway. That one skill set that you want to master immediately is the skill set of leadership. Why? Because the moment you have mastered that skill set, you can then successfully and effectively lead those who have mastered all of those skill sets that you have yet to master, and perhaps maybe never will master, if we're really honest, because of the time it takes to master any one skill. So that's a beautiful thing. And another wonderful thing about very successful people that I found over the years is, to a person, they're also very avid readers of books. And with that, I want to quickly segue into a little segment I affectionately call bookmarks.
Bookmarks. Born to read. Bookmarks. Ready, steady, read. Bookmarks. Brought to you by reachyourpeaklibrary.com.
Yes, there you see reachyourpeaklibrary.com. And the reason I said it that way is not for you to go clicking away and typing it in your browser. Instead, I implore of you to write it down and then visit that and other resources that Scott's going to bring to the show after the show is completed. And why is that? Because I've spoken on stage many times, and I'm getting to that point where I know I'm hitting the juice, the part that's going to change people's lives. And on occasion, I would notice a person get up and leave the room. They had to go to the restroom. They got that important text or phone call. And it just made me feel terrible that they were about to miss what could change their life forever. Now, with Scott, it could be every moment of this show. So you want to pay attention. And so take notes. I implore of you. This is my advice. I take notes. I'm running the show. I'm the director, the producer, not really the star. That's Scott. I'm the guy in the camera. I'm taking notes myself as right along with you. So take notes. Keep your attention, your gaze on Scott, and listen very intently, because you definitely want to retain what this man says. All right. Enough about that little soapbox moment. ReachYourPeakLibrary.com. Real quick. What is that? It's a website that I had developed with you in mind. Now, there are many, many, many books out there on the market. We all know this. But what if you could just go one place where at least one other entrepreneur that has been successful has vetted certain books? Then your likelihood of picking up a book that won't impact you has greatly diminished. That's the reason I had this website put together. Every book in here is a book I have personally read, and I stand behind it. I vet it because it had profound impact on either my business or my personal life, or both. There is no rhyme or reason to the order in which they are here on this site. So just find the first one you have yet to read that jumps off the page to you and get it and read it. You don't have to get it from this website. You can go straight to Amazon, which, by the way, that's where these buttons all go anyway. You can go wherever you want or need. The purpose of this is not to make money for my company. It is simply here to provide you an additional value-based resource so you can get farther faster. That is it. I just love helping people, sometimes to a fault. Speaking of loving to help people, that is the cue to bring on the one and only Scott Ferguson. Here we go.
It's time for the Guest Expert Spotlight. Savvy, skillful, professional, adept, trained, big league, qualified.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Brian, what's happening, man?
Scott Ferguson. Yes.
I'm feeling pretty privy here, man. I love the introduction. I love the Reach Your Peak Library. I reference that quite a bit to pick up some knowledge nuggets for some books that I'm looking for, So,
yeah,
fantastic.
It's nice to have a one-stop shop, and it's just wonderful to be able to share of all the time I've invested, because not every book I've ever read is on that site by far.
Oh, yeah.
But
right.
Those that had impact, only those. And so, yeah, I just love to give back any way I can. I know that's how you're wired too, Scott. That's why I wanted you on this show so badly. When we had that talk a while back, I was like, oh, this guy's awesome. We got to do something together. Before I jump into the whole show flow and get you properly introduced, which you deserve, real quick, a little bit of bookkeeping or housekeeping, I should say. Everyone can see, if they're watching on DO Live, the big insider secrets, that red and white logo in the upper right corner of the screen. They are our sponsor. Yes, thank you. And they are giving us the ability to offer on each and every show a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. All you have to do is stay on to the end of the show, and I will give you the means by which to enter to win. We give away one every single show, all because of the big insider secrets.com. My good friend Jason Nass runs that company. A couple more and back to big Scott Ferguson. Yeah, he's a big dude. Yeah, so if you are struggling with putting a live show together and it might be overwhelming, and you want a lot of the processes done for you while still enabling you to put on a high quality show and connect with great people, and I'm talking to people like Scott Ferguson, and grow your business all at the same time, then head on over to carpetbombmarketing.com. Carpet Bomb Marketing. Saturate the marketplace with your message. And one of the key components that is contained in the Carpet Bomb Marketing series is one that you'll learn how to absolutely master. It is the very service we're using right now to stream our live shows on the Mind Body Business Show. And over the course of the past, 10 years now, I've tried so many of these quote unquote TV studio solutions for live streaming. And I'm here to tell you that StreamYard is the best of the best that's available today. It combines supreme ease of use along with unmatched functionality. You can actually get an account for free. Write this down, ryp.im/streamlive, ryp.im/streamlive, all lowercase, no spaces altogether. Now to the man of the hour. It is none other than Mr. Scott Ferguson. And give him the proper intro he deserves. And then we're going to have Brian be quiet and let Scott talk. Scott Ferguson is the host of the Time to Shine Today podcast. Very successful podcast, by the way. His mission is to not have anyone feel like they have no one. I love that. Scott's story was highly sought after by people in the entertainment business, which he was not ready to share until now. At Time to Shine Today, Scott shares his knowledge nuggets to help individuals and teams to level up in both business and personal lives. And Scott is a veteran of the United States Navy. Thank you for your service, sir, with multiple deployments in Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia, and he puts in here, etc. Like it's no big deal. Come on, that's huge. In the early to mid 1990s, mad respect for you, Scott.
Thanks, brother.
An active podcaster and real estate junkie / investor. Scott loves to give, live intentional, loves the beach, Jiu Jitsu, fitness, yoga, and volunteering. That says a lot about the man that I know to be true. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome officially and formally to the show, Mr. L. Scott Ferguson.
You're like, oh, there we go. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that, brother, so much. So
Absolutely.
Stoked to be here. I'm blessed beyond. So absolutely.
And you know, this is the way I'm talking to the audience. This is the way Scott talks all the time. This is behind the scenes. He's not putting on a show. It's a wonderful thing to be authentic, to have character like Mr. Scott Ferguson. In my circles and our circles, we see this quite often. The problem is outside of our circle, and when I say our circles are successful entrepreneurs, it doesn't all seem to ring so true because they're in this mindset of scarcity, trying to make it, and they're letting their true self not shine just to get ahead, if that makes sense, to make shortcuts. But that is not Scott. Scott is all the way authentic. One of the greatest souls I've come across in a long time. And what I wanted to do, Scott, to start this thing open was open. Boy, that's an interesting word because that's what I want to do. I want to open, and I don't mean physically, but figuratively, open that wonderful big brain of yours, that beautiful brain of yours, and find out what is making you so successful. What has brought you to this point? Like when you get up in the morning, you know, being an entrepreneur, there are so many things always swirling about that need to be taken care of.
Absolutely.
There are those things that we just don't want to do. We still have those no matter what level of success. And yet, as an entrepreneur, it's all on you to do it. What is it for you, Scott, when you get up in the morning? What is going on in that big, beautiful brain of yours that's telling you, that keeping you driven, that's telling you you've got this, that's telling you I'm going to take it to the next level no matter what arduous task lies in front of me? What is that for you?
You know what? Again, thanks for having me, Brian. The big thing about my morning, it's my structured time. This is the only time that I know is going to be kind of the exact same way because of how much I coach or how many clients that I service. I have to put on different hats at all times. So my morning is super, super critical to starting my day. And, you know, it's very structured where I get up, I do my brush, you know, just the regular brushing the teeth kind of thing. And then as I get older, as I hit in my 40s, I realize I need to take things a little bit slower. I don't just hop out of bed as much anymore. So I make sure I get that hydration at 32 ounces of water right in. And then I go right to 2 ounces of apple cider vinegar with some pink Himalayan sea salt and some lemon juice, knocks my pH straight. And then I'm straight to the trampoline, man. I'm huge into rebounding. And I tell people, my clients out there, and it's funny when I speak on stage, people laugh because I'm the guy that brings out the rebounder. And I'm telling them the first 2 minutes of all my speeches or at the engagements is the benefits of what rebounding can do for you, because your heart pumps blood to cleanse it. But your lymph, where all the cancer, the leukemia, all that stuff is just jarred in there. You can't get rid of it without motion. So I hop on that trampoline, and when you're off the trampoline, I don't care if you're half inch or inch off, you're at zero gravity. The second you hit that trampoline, you're at 4 times the gravity. So 4 times gravity to zero gravity it pushes all your toxins out. So that first 90 minutes to 2 hours of my day is structured around me, period. It's my most selfish time that I get my journaling done, my gratitude sandwich eaten, and I get ready to serve clients by 8:45, 9 in the morning. So my morning gets up, and it's the only thing that is structured throughout everything in my life. Luckily, I have people that work for me that handle my day-to-days, but the morning's the time that it's all mine, and I'm very selfish about it. And selfishness is not a bad virtue. If you look at the dictionary, there's nothing bad about being selfish. You have to take care of you before you can take care of others, just like they say on the airplane and oxygen masks and stuff like that. So that's what I do, man. And
you have to take care of you before you take care of others.
That's it.
That's not a bomb dropping moment. I don't know.
Getting carpet bombed. Loving it.
Yes. Knowledge bombs, bombs of wisdom, smart bombs. That is Scott Ferguson right there. What? Yeah, everything. My gosh. And you're one of the first that has ever said this. And I appreciate you for saying this, that your structure is primarily only in one part of the day. Many others try to make it a structure throughout their day. And that I think that's a recipe for failure because of all the moving parts that we have to deal with every day. It's almost impossible because things come up, don't they? Where, well, like today, I had several small minor issues, but my team at the moment couldn't take care of it. It was only something that Brian knew. I'm going to work on that, believe me. And you just have to something has to give in order for something else to take its place. And it just happens.
Every maverick that I know, man, that I know either have read about or actually been blessed to interview or speak with, that's the one thing everybody had in common. Their morning routine, I'm saying that with quotes, is structured. And once I started doing that, it changed everything. I started doing it about 12 years ago. Now I'm working with a coach on my nightly routine because that kind of should be structured too. So you get that sleep and that REM and deep sleep and stuff like that. But the morning it has to be structured. And all my clients, that's the biggest thing. We're structuring your morning. That's where we start. It's our foundation.
I love it. Right off the bat. I'm like just thinking about that. What your routine is. I feel invigorated, and I'm not kidding. I'm like, I feel like I've been through it just now, and that's a great thing. The mind and body. I always say they're our team, and more importantly, they're your team, and you're taking care of both through a lot of physical activity, but you're also doing the gratitude and everything in between that gets you set both mentally and bodily. I had a great I failed to remember the gentleman's name, doggone it, but I interviewed him. I've interviewed so many people, but not an excuse. He made a statement that he works out on a regular basis, but what he does is he works out right before an upcoming arduous task. Get the energy flowing. I mean, do you ever do something to jack yourself up mentally, physically before something like that's coming up?
Like before I came on here, it was 3 minutes of rebounding, man. I roll Jiu Jitsu, and I'm in the gym, lifting 3 days a week because that's how my foundation was built within my temple. But the rebounder is what I do, and it's set on my watch to be like, all right, you got to move. Especially if I have a day sitting on my arse, I get on that rebounder just because it jars everything loose, and it gets the stuff. And as long as you're taking in the fluids, it's going to cleanse you. So to your interviewee's point, yeah, man, I get moving before anything going. Before I walk out the door, I rebound. You know what I'm saying? So it's something I fully believe in just because, I've been doing it just a few years, but it's changed. That part of it has changed everything. My morning routine I've been doing 12 years, but I added the rebounding in 2018. So I got 4 or 5 years. Yeah.
That's awesome. And the thing is, I always say if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
And
it's great when I'm speaking because when I walk out there, people are like, what is this 260-pound dude that's pretty well put together jumping on a trampoline? So I'm telling them, I'm speaking to them, and it's crazy when I have to hold a mic, right? Usually time I'm lapelled up, but I'm able to speak to them, and they're just, I get their attention, and all their heads are going like this. So they're already starting to affirm anything I'm going to be talking about, for my 15, 17 minutes. So it started off as kind of a gimmick but I used it really to bring myself down before I would speak too, get the blood flowing and get things going. And of course, I stole it from TR. Tony Robbins rebounds every day, and something I really dug into. Why does he do that? So he's all about the hacks, and it's the one thing that I feel that works 100%.
I love it from every vantage point. It is kind of a gimmick, but at the same time, it's not. And you're getting them to do the nod, and that's really cool as being part of it. And yeah, it gets their attention. There was another gentleman that spoke that would start from the back of the room, and no one knew where he was. Got everybody moving, literally turning back, and then he would come to the front and then go back down the middle in the background. We're all like,
"Where you going, dude?" Keeps people moving, gets that blood flowing. You know?
And he would literally go up the stage, like if the steps were in the middle of the room in the center, he would walk up them backwards without looking.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so he got our attention quick, and it kept our attention. And the guy's sweating like everywhere. He's got a suit on. He's in good shape.
Passion, man.
He's working, and that impressed me. So yeah, I love anything that works in speaking, and getting moving, because like when people go on, they get nervous, right? Even on a show like this, I know you don't, but everybody does. Come on, everybody does to some extent. Absolutely. But doing what you're talking about to kind of break that seal of stress and anxiety is perfect. Right. When you're about to go up on stage, that's when, like physical stage, that's when the heart's going like crazy. Right. And I go through several things in my head as well as body. I'm saying, well, this is for them. This is not for me. And once I get that in my head, I'm like, shh, I just relax.
Luckily, I competed in bodybuilding for a long time. Huh. And so I was up in my underwear in front of 3,000 people and flexing my muscles, and you diet for 18 months or 18 weeks to get to, 3% body fat for 5 minutes, so the stage fright, I get amped up for it because you're going out there in your underwear and you're flexing, and there was like, holy, so it just doing like speaking out, just not saying it's easy. Don't get me wrong. I get amped up, and I always keep a garbage pail close before I walk out, because I have like, if I didn't fast that morning, whatever comes in is coming up, so just because it's great nerves, right? I mean, it's the good eustress, not distress. It's eustress, because you get to go out there and share and know that people are going to leave, feeling better about themselves. So I want to give it my all and make sure that I'm the best possible. Like you say, mind, body, business. It's like that temple, man, and you got to take care of that temple, man. And then the mind and the physiologically, you've got to start there. I'm just a huge believer with your physiology. It's got to be right before you can even be happy, period.
Yeah, and it shows in your presentation and how you present yourself. Right. I always liken it to like, if you're afraid or if you're nervous and all that, it's kind of like a dog that can sense fear, right? All the members know something's off. They're not sure what it is, but it comes through. And so, that's what I love about you, Scott. You're all about preparation and being there, being on point, doing whatever it takes, even looking different than other people, like by jumping on a trampoline, going out in your underwear. That was funny. There's a great story.
I give zero, what. So I make 2 New Year's resolutions every year, Brian. One is to make someone smile every day. And I've accomplished that even right now with you. Okay. 2, unless I've hurt you, disrespected you, or did anything wrong to you, I give zero, what's about what you think about me. I just don't, because I'm me and you're you, and I'm going to respect the hell out of whoever is across the room from me, or even as a competitor. I respect them, but I don't care what anyone thinks about me. And that's what comes back to what you were talking about earlier with our tribes, right? It's like, you and I are together because of our mindset and our body mindset in business, and we're together. And it's like, those are the people that I'm going to surround myself with, period. Now, the people that are open to being leveled up, whether I can help them, you can help them, our good friend Brigitte can help them, that's who I have no problem farming out the work. But if they come at me and they're just like, just hating, then I just don't care. And that's one thing that I've just learned through the years, because I grew up a very insecure person, that it took years for me to get past that, so being able to take care of my mind and my body every day just sets that stage.
I mean, what you just said right there was gold, because I did the same. I mean, I think we live parallel lives. I think we were separated at birth. You're my brother by another mother, even though we have an age separation. But yeah, same thing. Always wanting to please people, wanting everybody to like me and kind of stuff. And then, just like you learned later in life, like that's not serving me or them. And then I look back on my old self and go, no wonder I didn't attract the right people, because I was just this little pleaser running around and yes man and all that. It's like once I got into my own space and said, wait, respect yourself first.
Right.
Once that, and so I'm repeating this for people that are watching or listening, that this is so important. If you're not there yet, if you're not in your own space confidently, and that's kind of what it is, right, Scott? It's about your self-confidence. If you haven't achieved that, then work on it. In fact, I know an expert that can help you with that, probably sitting right next to me.
We'll get you there. We'll get you there. Everybody has it. I mean, as long as you want to level up and you're willing to do the work, myself and my team, we're ready to help you. You know, and we do it for the intention, not the attention, right? We're very intent on getting the person's needs. So there's a ton of questions that we're asking. But just we also preface everything with you're going to be doing work. And again, we might not be the right horse for every course and coaching everybody, but that's okay, you know, because that's how I built my platform at Time to Shine today, is to refer people that need to be leveled up by a different personality.
Man, you just said a phrase I've never heard that just basically encapsulated everything I try to explain. I mean, that was awesome. We do it for the intention, not the attention.
That's right.
If there was ever a bomb dropping moment.
You go.
Oh my goodness.
And I got that from my good buddy Julian Harris. He told me that. He's like, Fergie, are you doing it for the intention or the attention? I'm like, he's like, bro, you're doing it for the intention. I didn't see it, but like really think about it and then pass it on to your clients. So I asked him if I can use it on all my podcasts and stuff. And he's like, absolutely. We're all regurgitating everybody else anyways. It all goes back to the Stoics. So, which is, it's true though. Yeah.
That further magnifies your integrity, brother, that you gave you gave someone else credit for that you know, rightfully theirs, even though they probably don't care if you do or not. That is how you're wired. My God, you're a giving guy. You served our country. Thank you. Appreciate I have nothing but respect for anyone who's served our country, present, past, and those who are thinking of doing it in the future. Right. And I don't care if that means sitting behind a desk. You committed
what you did,
time.
Man.
You committed your time. You committed your life, that time of your life, to help our country, no matter what the reasons were. You did that. And I have nothing but adoration, respect, and gratitude. So thank you, Scott,
Appreciate you saying that,
all that you've served with and for. And oh man, it just gets me all warm inside, I'll tell you. And so warm, I could probably wear nothing but underwear right now. I
love it. I
think down the road you could issue all your clients logoed underwear as you know, as they get their certificate. Just say, "This is yours."
Start putting in the swag bag, you know,
there you go.
Speaking events and stuff. And it's funny you say that. I always give homage to who I hear it from, and they might not actually said it, but I always say. And it's funny. I was speaking a couple weeks ago in Charlotte, and there was 3 people that I was on the tour with speaking. And I say, as my good friend Leah Woodford said, as my good friend, and they're like sitting in the crowd hearing their own stuff that they gave to me. And they're like, Fergie, dude, I was going to use that in my speech. I felt so bad. They're like, thank you for giving me the credit. But it was also, so when each one of them went up there and said what they're going to say, they'd be like pointing at me saying, thanks. It was kind of funny. But you know what, man, I want to wake up every day open and go to bed smarter, you know, like something that has leveled me up, something that someone says, no matter what your age is. You know, I go to this kava bar here in South Florida, and kava is just like it's a root that they drink in the South Asian, South Pacific, and they have awesome bars here, and it's kind of really like a really chillaxing root. And I see a lot of younger kids there, and it's great seeing them there instead of out the bars, and nothing wrong with drinking. Okay, but like them spilling about their building companies, and it's just like, and they're saying stuff, and I'm just able to absorb the younger generation's motivation at this place. And it's just like, wow, and I'm jotting stuff down, I throw it in my journal. And so I'm just open to everything, man. I'm a sponge. I'm
convinced, man. Separated at birth. There's just
no way. We are.
Because I ended up having a mentor in my life. Mm-hmm. And this guy was and is a genius. And he understands mind and mindset. He understands how to be a successful business person. He's got the flexibility beyond flexibility. I mean, I know of no one with more flexible mindset. And the kicker of it is, by age, he literally could be my son. It never mattered to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 18 years my junior, and I met him, 11 years ago.
Wow.
So it's been a while, but the same thing. I don't care about race, about gender, about age, about religion. If you have it's all about, for me, integrity and character. If you have those and you have something that is going to help me go forward, or if there's something I can help you with, it goes both ways. I don't care either way. I'm not just about sell. It's like, we'll have a chat like with you, Scott. I don't know, when we're done, I might become your client. And this has happened in the past. I don't do the show to get clients. It's just what happens will happen, and it's meant for a purpose, without selling the heck out of people every time, at every moment. And man, it's just going about that way of life is so freeing, because I used to always wonder, should I be selling more? And now I'm like, no, hell no. What do you think about that? What is your approach when it comes to actually closing deals? What's your philosophy on all that? And there's no wrong answer here.
I work more to mentor than to coach at first. Okay. Cause I know that I give until it hurts so good, but I'm also open to reciprocity, right? Just kind of like that plant that might be sitting on your shelf. You breathe in oxygen, you breathe out carbon dioxide. The plant breathes in carbon dioxide, breathes out oxygen. So there's a give and take to everything. But if I'm mentoring, to start, and then they like what they hear, and then they might bring me on as a consultant or a coach. But I was told by my mentor years ago that the more you mentor, the more immortal you become, right? So it's like I'm able to mentor people, and whether they hire me or not, I've dropped some knowledge nuggets on them that I'm just regurgitating. By the way, that's the name of my book that will be coming out, is Regurgitating. You're in it because you're a podcast interview that's coming up. And basically, like Tony Robbins regurgitates Jim Rohn, Earl Nightingale, Wallace Wattles, all the way back to Aristotle or Hippocrates or whatever. Everybody's regurgitating stuff. So that's just all I'm doing with mentoring, is going through my mental Rolodex of what I was taught and then doing that. But I've had guys a small group at my church from 2007 are calling me up and saying, bro, Fergie, this happened. Life punched me in the mouth. And I just wanted to thank you for what you dropped on me, and I'm paying it forward to other people. There's no check big enough that can cover that withdrawal ever. You feel me? That's the thing, man. It's like, I'm all about the mentoring. So that's where I start with is the mentoring, and I'll mentor as much as I can. Now, if it gets to a point where it's coffee every Wednesday and they want to talk to something, be like, listen, I am a for-profit here, bro. And they'll be like, oh man, I didn't even know. But then again, I've had people just slide me checks, bro, and just be like, here. And I take it. That's open to reciprocity. I will take it and I will cash it and thank them, but at the same time, I want to give until it hurts so good, man. Because some people out there, especially what we just went through as a country, as a world, they need it, and I need it. I'm blessed with awesome coaches. I have 5 coaches that I meet with, and they've all leveled me up in one aspect or another, from a speaking coach to authorship to mindset to body, just like look at your name of your company, Mind Body Business. I have a coach for every one of them that I pay 5 figures a month to. And it's like or 4 figures a month, sorry, 5 figures a month, 4 figures a month to make sure that I am leveled up, period. Because it's, but a lot of them, they drop that serious knowledge on me as well for free. So to answer the question, long-winded, man, I love to mentor.
And you at one point said, do you feel me? I literally had goosebumps at that moment. I'm not kidding. I mean,
even with my clients, I'm like, do you feel it? So,
yeah,
because again, it's everything's physiological, man. Everyone goes through coaching, think they're just doing the 6 inches between their temples, right? But you've got to feel it physiologically too. Like, people do not understand, your temple's not taken care of, the rest won't fall in line, your mind won't fall in line. It just won't, unless you're physiologically good, and it's rooted right in the name of your business, man. So
yeah, it's so true, because, and that's such a great lesson for everyone watching that goes through a marketing or sales process, is one of the most important parts of the process that so many seem to either forget or just not address, is the importance of eliciting emotion from the individual that you're marketing and advertising to in a great way, in an integrity-based way. But you want to evoke that emotion because people buy on emotion. And I wanted to give a quick shout out. We were talking about her just before the show, Scott. I want her to hear this.
Yeah.
Linda Bachman is in the house. Yes.
Veterans. There we go, Linda.
Yes.
Love it.
So yeah, Linda, I've been telling him all about your idea and your concept, and I'll hook you two up after the show. Absolutely. And she also said he is telling the truth, nothing but a good heart to help the world. Yeah, and Linda is the same. That's the thing. I love what I get to do because of people like you, people like Linda, and all the past interviewees I've had. Just amazing people. And my gosh, I'm getting writer's cramp, and I love it. And I love how you mentioned this one thing you did in 2007. Here's the thing with everybody. I just want to emphasize it a little bit more is it's okay not to get paid the moment you do something. In fact, if you do it without the intention of getting paid, it may come back to reward you, and often does. And it could be much later. But those that go after the quick kill, I'll be curious about your opinion on this. When you're going after the quick kill and you want to make the sale today at sometimes at all costs, that's not a recipe for a long, successful run at whatever you're doing. What do you think?
Great. Well said, man. Like a lot of people, and I applaud the people that can walk in to a business and sell a $5 million home or whatnot, but that money is going to run out. You know, are you going to be a yo-yo? You know, and so the people that I coach through different situations, we say, you know, I tell them, you know, inch by inch, it's a cinch. By the yard, it's hard. Right. So we're going to break everything down into the steps that I know that are proven. Now, I'm not a consultant, right? So like there's people like one of my clients is a CEO of a Forbes 50 business, right? And it's like he's forgot more about business than I'll ever know. But he came to me for mindset visionary breakthrough. So he wants to see things from a different standpoint. So asking powerful enough questions, we'll get there. But those powerful enough questions is that inch by inch, right? I'm not asking them, what are you doing next week? It's like, dude, what are we doing now to get to where we know that our coaching objective is, right? So inch by inch, it's a cinch. And that's for my mentor of mine, Rod Harrison. You know, he has a company, Envision You, a fantastic human being. And he's that's where I kind of got that saying from. But to answer your question, that breaks it down instead of trying to jump the staircase, you know, and enjoy every freaking part of that journey, man. Yeah. Also, like, enjoy it. Let it embrace you physiologically too. Not just like everything that you're going through, all the bad stuff, anything, embrace it all because it's part of your story that you're going to write in the future or journal about, you know, and it just, you look back at it and the things you worry about. I mean, come on, Brian, you've been journaling a while and you look back at stuff you worried about like in 2008 and you're like, are you kidding me? Why was I worried? But it was the world to you then, right? And it's just funny how just getting it down on paper and getting those thoughts out, it's another part of inch by inch, right? It's just like getting the stuff out of you. There's so much that has to go. It's just like sweat in the morning when you get a workout in. It's another inch by inch that happens. So that's how I live, man.
You installed a camera and mic somewhere in my house because you're like reading my mind, brother. This is like ninja stuff. Oh, sorry.
It's not your underwear, Jorbra, I promise. All right.
Well, hey, if you send me some swag that's underwear, I'll take it.
There you go. You're gonna
gotta be new though, new and not
weird to see. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, yeah, so true, all of it. Jiminy Christmas, I don't know where to begin because that was just massive golden nuggets. You exude everything that I love to see in a person. And here's what I want to say publicly. I wish immense wealth on you.
Thanks.
I wish, and I bless, and I want you to experience massive wealth. And why would I want to do that? Because I know that Scott is the kind of person that will take that wealth, and at least for a good part of it, he will scale and expand his business and change more people's lives. I almost said the word save, and he probably will do that too. The people that are wired the way Scott is, with the servant attitude, with helping people first, not worrying about a paycheck as a result of his efforts, even though, yes, we all need one.
Absolutely.
But the more people like Scott need to roam this planet, and if he can scale his business bigger, then the odds of other people becoming more like Scott, and he's not trying to make people like Scott, I want to be clear, but he's want to make them more successful in whatever they wish to do. Right. then let's do that. Let's instead of saying, oh my gosh, Scott, you pay 4 figures for all those coaches. You must have a lot of money. And they start getting jealous. I'm like, no. He's bless him. He's putting in the skin to get better to help you and other people.
Exactly. Thank you for realizing that, because some people don't. And I do it. I don't know. Yeah. I would probably do some of the coaches if I wasn't speaking, if I wasn't coaching people, but that really give the best of Scott Ferguson when I'm out there speaking or even one-to-one with coaching. I have to have that, and that's what people have got to realize too, is the importance of having somebody that actually cares, that listens with their neck, that actually is in tune to you. Then it's so critical. So critical.
You mean listen with their neck instead of their wallet? Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah, exactly. But no, you get a lot of them. And, with the people that I interview at Time to Shine Today, we have a kind of a coaching referral program, right? So, I interview you, and then what I do is I set up a 5 to 10 minute coaching session with the coach, just to make sure that, and that sound like a douchebag, but that they can coach. And I see and I watch them and see how they're coaching me, and then I watch and I just have to make sure that they're actually listening, because some people will, listen, but are you listening with all your senses? Me, I'm engaged. I talk with my hands. I'm fired up. And again, I'm not the right coach for everybody, because other people need more of an advocate coach. It's okay. It's all right. I'll empathize with you, but hey, our coaching objective was to level up. If not, I have an awesome advocate style coach. I got the perfect person for you. And that's what I've been graced with Time to Shine Today. We will be like the Angie's List of coaches, consultants, and therapists in the next 60 months, next 5 years. We had an awesome influx of investor capital this past week, and we're building it out. And it's going to be just fantastic of how many people that I have been the catalyst of to be able to help. And that's everything that matters to me, period. It's huge. And I'm going to get paid. And that's fine. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, it's money. That's what you want. Absolutely. It's going to be a byproduct of the service that I provide, without a doubt.
That's genius. That's scaling on a whole new level. I love that whole concept. And I mean, I'm going to 10X what I was wishing for you earlier.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate those blessings too, because they're genuine coming from you. And I feel that, and I really appreciate it, Brian. You're a cat that I can't wait till we hang out in person, because we're going to be attached at the hip, having fun, and blasting out stages, and maybe going for a brain grenade or two afterwards, and just chatting it up and giving each other funny feedback. Maybe razzing each other along the way too. And you got to have that as well. Another thing I really live by, man, is that you don't take life too seriously, because you're never making it out alive, right? So I saw that on the movie Van Wilder in the year 2000. Ryan Reynolds, when he was young, said that, and it stuck in my head. I was like, wait a minute, I'm going to die one day. And I was 28 in 2000. So it was like, I'm going to die one day. So the mortality sits, I'm like, dude, why am I caring about this so much? So it's just, I don't know. I'm not self-deprecating, but I just love to have fun.
No, there's nothing self-deprecating about that. I've taught my kids this. I walk around, I see these usually guys that are just so serious all the time. There's never a smile or never an emotion other than, and I tell my kids, and I told them as they grew up, I said, look, there is a time to be serious and there's a time to have fun in your life. And rarely is it the former. Rarely.
Right.
It's when there's a funeral, when there's a big decision to make financially, when you're getting married. Yeah, you can still have fun with that one, but it's serious time too. Right. The times to be serious are very few and far between, compared to why not enjoy life for all it's worth every step of the way that you can. Even look, I'm going through some hell right now personally. My wife has breast cancer. My dad has advanced dementia, and it's just crazy right now. What you were saying earlier is so on point. I just look at it and go, I believe in God. I'm a Christian. And I say, well, he's letting this happen to me, because after this, everything else will seem like, no big deal. And I can crush it even more. So I'm going through it now, knowing it will not go forever. And that, number one, my wife is fine. She's cancer free. She's going through some. And thank you. And number two, my dad is just going to keep getting slowly worse, unfortunately, but we love him with all of our heart as long as we can, and we'll get through it. And the beautiful we've learned a lot, and we'll be better for it. Like you said it so beautifully earlier.
You know, it segues into, a lot of my speaking engagements. The name of my session is Overlapping Happiness, right? So what you're going through right now, and it sucks what your dad's going through, and I feel for you because I watched my mom deteriorate and pass away in 2019, right? And so it sucks, but something that always stuck with me that I was taught by mentors is everything's finite. Everything ends, right? So if you're like, oh, I'm going to South Florida, I'm seeing Fergie, we're going to have a great time, I'm going to rock stages, we're going to change people's lives. But guess what? Your plane trip back to LA, which isn't a bad place to go, but your plane trip back to the left coast is going to happen. So that happiness that you had all ready to rock ends, right? Just like bad things, when they happen, it's finite. It's going to end. So what we do at Time to Shine today is we talk about overlapping our happiness, meaning like if I walk up to a lady and say, man, those are great shoes, and seeing that smile on her face, that's happiness. Win, overlap. Next, what can I do to make someone else happy? Because if I can make people happy, that smile lights up. According to my New Year's resolution, make one person smile a day. Usually I go for 10 or 20. Yeah. Then the happiness overlaps, and it never stops, bro. And that is key to your mindset, your body, and your business. The name of your company. You overlap happiness, all of it will come. Joy. My last podcast interview I just dropped today is about with Linda Shively, and she talks about joy stealing dragons. And I'm like, what she went through, watched her 5-year-old daughter die, and then having to level up. And now what she does, she speaks in freaking Carnegie Hall. She speaks everywhere, and it's just awesome to hear how she overlaps her happiness as well. So that's where we live from. It's like what you're going through and what I've went through. Everything's finite. Everything, as you and I are going to end one day. At least in the vehicles that we are in our bodies. Never know where the souls go. My belief is going to heaven, but it's going to end. So might as well be happy. And the best way to do it is to overlap them and overlap.
Can't agree more, man. There's nothing gives me more joy than just planting one little seed of happiness or joy in life.
Yes. Yeah.
After I learned a science called NLP, neuro linguistic programming. Before that, I loved people, but I didn't know how to interact effectively the way I wanted to be my true self. And then I learned it. And it's like, I'm now that guy in the elevator that's the first one to speak up. And everyone's sitting there and they're morbidly afraid to make a move or say anything. I won't do it to be funny. I'll just make a comment. It's like anything to break the ice. It's whatever happens, it occurs. Or I'll go up to a Starbucks and, they're working. The baristas, they're just going crazy. And they're in that state, they're just grinding. And I'll make a comment. I'll see their name badge and I'll say, hey, Jerry, man, I just want to tell you, you're doing a fantastic job. My God, you are so
You and I are separated because I'll walk into Starbucks when it's busy like that and be like, hey, can I get a half calf, double decaf? Right. And they'll look at me like I'm an idiot and I'll smile. I'm like, you guys are doing awesome. Because it doesn't even make sense, but I got a smile out of them. Yeah. And they're just like, all right, man, thanks. And I'm just like, you're right, though. But you're also breaking the silence without awkwardness because you've worked on it. Like some people just can't stand there and be quiet because silence kills them. Right. But like me, I thrive on that. I make it a mission to meet somebody every day. It's part of, I don't add it to my resolution so much because you're not going to be out every day. So it's nothing that I can't do, but I can make my woman smile. I can make you smile. Anybody that I can come in contact with, I can make smile. But meeting somebody new every day is amazing, and
it is. I'm a believer that all people are good.
Yeah.
They may have bad habits, some, but
Sure.
In the beginning, my dad said, one of the things I'll never forget, he said, I've never met anybody for the first time that I didn't like.
True.
Like, think about that.
Love
he said,
that, man.
And then he waits and he says, until they prove me wrong.
Right.
Like, that is beautiful to live by.
Yeah. Yep.
This is my dad. This is awesome. This is
and our dads were like from the hard knocks, like kids these days, nothing against parents out there, but kids these days get timeout, right? We got knockout. So for your dad to actually say something that from that generation, it's the same generation probably my old man's from, right? And it's funny with our conversations and stuff. It's true though. That's amazing that your father said that. Benefit of the doubt, BOTD, man. So we say the bot did, yeah.
And I've watched him, and I can tell over all the years I've known him, now that he said that, and that was recently, I was like, that's true. That's how he's lived. He's always been so wonderfully friendly with people.
That's great.
We would always say his moniker, his name's Bill. He'd walk up to a brand new person with his hand outstretched, and he'd say, "Bill Kelly, damn glad to meet you." I mean, he would just befriend.
Really?
Yeah, he would befriend an entire like motorhome park where they're at a river camping, and he would go and hit everybody he saw on his path. He was saying hi and just friendly, and it's like, my gosh,
that's awesome.
Linda,
that's awesome.
I love it. She says, "I want to be coached and mentored by you too." LOL. Yeah, and vice versa. Linda is also an amazing coach and very talented, and you're going to find that out yourself.
Yeah,
personally.
Absolutely.
Can't wait for that to happen. My gosh, look at it. See, man, you have a special sauce, and I mean that in a great way.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
something very, very deeply special about you that I think it's obvious to most everyone watching and listening, but yeah, you come from a different dye, the dye that they mold things in and things. It just in a good.
It comes from a space of abandonment, man. It comes from that and being able to level up, and people handing me certain books throughout my life, and people taking an interest in me, through, I was born in the Philippines in 1972 during the end of the Vietnam War, and I was a mixed breed, right? So my father was American, mom was Filipino. My father I was told, got killed in Vietnam. So mixed breed bastard males were actually taken from their mothers and shipped to Spain, because I'm 6'1" and a big dude. And if they had tens of thousands of these bastard babies running around, they were afraid to physically take over the country. So I was shipped off with different couples, and I lived in a lot of abandonment, a lot of dark areas of my life. And it was just people throughout my journey that showed up for me. And I didn't even know that they were showing up for me, because one, you're young and your brain's mush. But then as I start looking back, it's like, man, this is why I do what I do. Because there's a lot more to my story that I'm leaving out, but it's why I do what I do is because there's people there that actually did that. In 2008, when the market crashed with real estate, I was a realtor in Michigan, a very successful one at that, and didn't listen to my advisors, and I was literally sleeping in a house I had listed where they moved to Florida, and I was living in it with my dog, and just, someone handed me the book by Andy Andrews called The Traveler's Gift. And it's this dude that's daughter's dying, losing his job. He runs a car into the tree, wants to kill himself, but he wakes up in 1945 on the floor with Give Him Hell Harry Truman looking down at him the day before he's going to drop the bomb. And talking about responsibility and how the responsibility is the ability to respond. And he goes and meets like King Solomon for wisdom, Anne Frank for happiness, Abraham Lincoln for decisions. I mean, it's a book that I just sat there and internalized. I'm like, wait a minute, dude, I'm helping nobody. Because back then I was a vulture. I preyed on other people's misfortunes through foreclosures and stuff like that. And here I am. And so that's what I just turned that corner in 2009, 2010. And that's when I launched Time to Shine Today. Or we don't want to have anyone to feel like they have no one, period.
That's why I always say I know there's good in everybody, because you were at a point in your life, and thank you for your transparency and honesty. Yeah, and that's another great, my gosh, there's so many.
I got a kicker, man. My father didn't die. He was alive until 2 years ago, which I just through 23andMe, the whole spit in a cup thing, found out I have relatives on the west coast of Florida. I'm sorry, west coast of California, in Alameda or something like that, that are related to me by blood, which is pretty cool because we're meeting this year. And then I also have a twin sister that my mom kept and gave me up, and found that out when I was 33 years old in Jersey. So there's a lot of stories. Like I had a lot of talk shows, Sally Jesse Raphael, Ricky Lake, Oprah Winfrey, Montel Williams, all those 1990s talk shows knew about my story. I'm just like, I'm ready to tell. I'm in my 20s. I'm partying. I'm having a good time, building businesses and stuff. Now it's just like I'm kind of coming out and telling my thing. But there's a reason behind it, because now for the last 12 years, I've been serving people and helping people truly level up. And when you're a speaker, so you have to have something that catches that audience after you get off the trampoline, right? So, it's like you have that, and I'm able to tell it. And they can see, okay, because people resonate more with weakness than strength. You're in a crowd, you're glued into stories, right? Yes. versus, oh, look at me and you can be this. And it's like, dude, shut up, So, but yeah, it's just it comes from a place of abandonment, man, that I give till it hurts so good,
So this is a testimony of perseverance right here, and I'm pointing at Mr. Scott Ferguson. And you had the drive, you had the will, you had the desire, you had the heart that was given to you that just finally got awoken to who you truly are. Because I can tell, I mean, to me, this is the true Scott Ferguson. Whoever you were talking about before, I don't know who the heck that was. I'm glad I never met him.
Brother, but I don't either, man. It's like, who the hell are you? Even my dad and I are best friends now. Back then,
that's awesome.
Because he worked on the line at General Motors, right? And nothing against him, right? But that's what he wanted to do. But I was always like, no. And then I would be the douchebag that showed up at family reunions and $100,000 cars and shit like that. So when I lost everything, right? My dad was the one dude that was like, listen, man. He's like, I ain't going to ride you down, but listen, this might be the best thing that's ever happened to you. I'm like, F you. And I left and didn't talk to him for like a year and a half. Right. And then I came back and it's like, he's right. And he always wanted me to succeed. He just never knew how to teach me to succeed with anything. But he was always the cool dad and always fixing tires for people, sweeping chimneys for people on his off time. It's like, dude, that's service, right? I mean, he's retired, living back in Alabama where he grew up picking cotton, going door to door to asking people, what do you need help fixed? Like, that's what he does. Like, how you doing, Mr. Kelly? Like your dad. My dad's that dude, man. They come from that generation that he's sorely missed. I'm going to tell you that right now.
You just described my dad too. God, this is crazy, man. I just look at the clock. I hope you can go a few minutes longer because
we're good, man.
We're going another 2 hours just for everybody watching. But what I want to do before I forget is I want to pay homage to what you're doing as a business and give you the stage, so to speak. What I want to know as well, this is out of my curiosity, is, you're a coach. What is it exactly you do as a coach? Who is your target market? It's a multiple part question. So, what is your target market? Who do you help? Is it individuals, corporations, married couples, kids, or all the above, any of the above, whatever mixture? And then what is it you do for them? And if you have a story you'd like to tell about one or more of your past clients or even current, that would be of interest that you think, or not, it doesn't matter, but you can tell the story. I'll put up your website and I'd love to hear more about what you do. And then finally let people know how they can connect with you. We're not done yet. Don't go anywhere, anybody. But I just want to give you the opportunity.
I want to. Coaching is something that I am inherently like. It was a gift that was given to me just through the past that I went through and the people that helped me level up and able to regurgitate what I was taught back to people. So a lot of the people that I'm working with are, say, coming out of a marriage. They went through therapy. Now they're looking for the next steps, or they went through rehab, and not just for drugs and alcohol. It could be work exhaustion. It could be domestic. It could be whatever. And then they come to me for kind of I'm set up kind of as an aftercare program. When they get professional help from a therapist's view, they come to Time to Shine Today, and we help them push through there. But I can't help as many people myself as I really want to. And that's why I've set up Time to Shine Today. So if there's any coaches, counselors, therapists that really have a great story and are all about leveling up other people, then reach out to me. I'd love to get you interviewed on Time to Shine Today. We went over 1 million downloads, listens. We've got some solid traction with different. I can put you in touch with who you need. Period. Whether if you're thinking about possibly, taking your life like my little brother did, reach out, because I have counselors at the drop of a hat. That I can put you with. If you're making six figures and you want to put that extra comma, in your income, I got people that will get you there. Including myself. I'll help you get there. So that's just kind of what we want to do is we want to help people that want to be helped, that are ready for the breakthrough. And the best place you can really find us is at timetoshinetoday.com. And if you want to really try to check out our podcast, it's just timetoshinetoday.com/podcast. And that's our story, man. We just want to give until it hurts so good, brother.
And you definitely do that and appreciate that. And I'm so blessed and lucky that I'm scheduled to be on that podcast in the future.
Yes, you are. Can't wait.
I know you're booked, and I get to be on in next year sometime. But I'm ready. I know.
I thought we booked you personally, but maybe not. If we want to get you on soon, we'll definitely get you on. Absolutely.
It's cool. I'm the same way. I'm booked through July on mine. And, yeah. And yeah, that's the thing. I want to get you on here as soon as possible.
I appreciate that, man.
You just have so much to offer. And I knew that from our first conversation. There was just something, more than something very special about you, brother. And
thanks.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Our avatar of listener is kind of somebody that's looking to level up and know that, there's more to life, that needs that breakthrough, that visionary, that mindset. And so we got, we're just, our podcasts are less than 30 minutes generally. So we're very short because the people that are listening are people that are driving to work and they want to be leveled up. You hear my crazy ass on there going crazy and talking with clients or with my interviewees. And like, we're going to have fun on mine, just like we had on this, and we keep people engaged. It's a lot of fun. I ask questions that pretty much no other podcast is really going to ask you. So it's a lot of fun. We're going to have a great time. I got 3 questions set aside for you, my friend. I just can't wait. God gave me the face for radio, so podcasting's my thing.
No, man, that is so not the truth. I'm not a very good judge of what a woman thinks is good looking, but you're a handsome dude, man. You're
brother.
It's gonna be fun. I've been talking to my wife about this. Don't tell her I said this. No, she knows that I want to get out of California at some point, and my number one destination I always bring up outside of California is Florida.
Yeah,
and so we need to have some talks about all the details of Florida, because I think there are some preconceived notions that aren't correct. I've been there several times on business and things, and I've never encountered the bugs the size of dinosaurs, even though I've heard they exist.
I mean, our state bird's the mosquito, but it's good. It's good. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's not that at all. There's gators. You really have to watch out for gators. That's no joke. Me and my pit bull walk every morning. You have to be watching for them. They don't bug you, but they'll just look at you. And if they're hungry, you better run faster. And Stitch, my rescue pit, can run a lot faster than I can. So you got to go. But no, it's a beautiful state. I'm not going to get political, but there's a lot going on here. If you're a speaker or something like that, any listeners, and you're listening, I'm sure they are. I mean, you got Tampa, you got Sarasota, you got O-Town or Orlando, you got Jacksonville, you got Palm Beach where I'm at, you got Fort Lauderdale, you got Miami. You can speak every day. You can speak every weekend. I'm booked every weekend in Florida. So if you're and it's awesome. And obviously the weather, obviously no state taxes, but it's a beautiful place, man. And it's such a mixing bowl, because the side I live on, I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Detroit. I moved down here 9 years ago. And most of my peeps go to like the west side, like Sarasota, Fort Myers, Naples, where everybody's like me. I give everyone hugs. I usually scare people because when I walk up, I'm like, hey, I'm a big dude. But that's me. Over here on this side is I-95, right? The expressway that goes up to New York, Philly, Boston, and they're edgy. So I used to hate them. But then I learned, wait a minute, why are they that? Because it's so population dense there that they live on top of each other, that they just want their space, right? And once I learned that, it was like, boom, it was an all awesome knowledge that I got. Now some of my best friends are from Brooklyn, Long Island, Staten Island, Southie, Massachusetts. It's awesome. The whole state's a melting pot. It's freaking awesome. I love it. So get here. Let me talk to Miss Kelly. She there?
Well, plus they're the first ones to be hit by the hurricanes, right?
We are, man. We dodge at least one a year. We dodge one. It's so funny about hurricanes, dude. It's like people I got crushed by Dorian and I got crushed by Matthew. Matthew, and then Irma. Dorian made the right. Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Matthew crushed me, but it was just kind of like, it sucked. Don't get me wrong. You're doing 2.5 weeks, no power. That's what they make generators for. Make sure you have a generator. Make sure you keep 10 gallons of water. You keep canned goods. Like I have a whole hurricane room, and once September rolls around, you just watch the weather. And but other than that, we haven't had an earthquake yet. I know I went through a couple of those in the early 90s in California. So
big difference with a hurricane. There's a distinct warning that is coming.
Oh, yeah.
There
That's
is
what
no
I meant
warning.
to say. It's like you got a week, bro.
Yeah.
There's hurricane parties. There's all kind. Everyone's helping each other put their shutters up. Cooking everything up that's in your freezer because if you lose power, it's gone. It's a blast. Don't get me wrong, it's scary. That's 35, 40 minutes that as it's going over you, it's like nothing you've ever imagined, man. It's no fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I love to end every show with a question, a very special question. I see we're getting over on the time pretty good here, but I want to be respectful not only of your time, also of everyone watching and listening. But
yeah, appreciate everybody here.
I do have a question I love to end every show with, and it just came kind of by accident, and it's very, very profound, and the answers have just been almost mind-blowing at times. And it's cool. It can be a little personal. But before we do that, I did promise everyone who watched to the end live that they could enter to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. All compliments once again of the Big Insider Secrets. When you see this on the screen, remember, write it down and then go to it right after the show's over. We'll give you time to enter. Here is that information right now. You'll want to go to, write this down, ryp.im/vacation, ryp.im/vacation. Go ahead and do that. Enter right now. And we're going to get to the big question here in just a moment. But before we do that, Mr. Scott Ferguson also has a nice little lovely gift for you. I'm going to bring that up on the screen and let Scott take it away and give a brief explanation of what that is. There it is.
Yeah, I think I brought it up a little bit earlier, but if you are somebody, you don't have to be a coach, consultant, therapist. You can be a business owner, somebody that really believes in service first, service oriented. I would love to get you on the show. We're going to get you a lot of traction, a lot of listens. Also, I put all of my podcast interviews on terrestrial radio on their AM/FM station in their hometown. We work with producers in pretty much every city, including in Canada as well, and getting your show put out there. We're going to get a lot of promotion. We have a list of over 150,000 subscribers to Time to Shine Today that your show will be in front of. And so there's a lot of people that need to hear good stuff. And if you're that person, please reach out to us. And we'd love to just grab a little bit of information from you, make sure you're right for the show, and then bring you on for an interview.
I love it. And that URL is timetoshinetoday.com/guest. Just remember that guest should be all lowercase. timetoshinetoday.com/guest for our listening viewers, I like to say. That doesn't make sense. I know it's on purpose. It might have been on purpose. I don't know. Yes, that's right. So, Mr. Scott Ferguson, it's time for that wonderful question.
Play the Jeopardy music or what? What's going on?
That's a good one.
You're going to play the answer, and I'll give you the question. I'm kidding.
Yeah, and here's the thing. There's no such thing as a wrong answer to this question. That's really all that makes it, quote unquote, personal. It's unique to you. And that's what I found about this question. In fact, the exact opposite is the case. The only correct answer is yours because it's unique to you. So if it takes you a moment to reflect and think about what the answer is, that's cool. If you get it instantly, that's cool. Why? Because it's your answer. I think I got the point headed home. So with that, I know what the answer is going to be, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Scott Ferguson, how do you define success?
Success. I don't dwell on it too much, but I think that success to me, it would be knowing that I planted trees now that I will never sit in the shade of. And that's all this success is to me.
Watch everybody. You know it's coming.
There we go.
Yes. All night long. Knowledge bombs, smart bombs, bombs of wisdom. This is the one, the only Mr. Scott Ferguson, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all reach out to him and ask to be on his podcast. Fill out that form. Don't forget to do that. I'm on there. I cannot wait to spend more time with you, Scott, because you're just that amazing individual. Yeah, and I'm going to look for every excuse to get out to Florida.
Let's go, baby.
Palm Beach is the area.
I'm doing a West Coast swing in a couple cities. Speaking, so I'm going to definitely hook up with you there, which we'll talk about camera on that, but I can't wait. Absolutely.
Please reach out to me. I will drive hours to spend some time with you.
Are you near LA then?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
We do everything by how long it takes to drive here. It's about an hour's drive or so to LA from where I live, which is nothing for us.
Are you inland or out or up?
I'm a little in and north.
Okay, in and north. Okay, cool.
It's kind of the same because of the way California's shaped, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I've been down there. I go to Orange County, which is even farther south of LA by quite a bit. Quite often, I've done it in the past. So for you, man, I'd go much, much farther.
I'm starting south and going north, man. I'll be in La Jolla for my first gig, and then we're gonna head up. And I was stationed in San Diego, Seal Beach in Coronado for 7 years. So it's I still have friends that I served with. So we're gonna have a whole kind of a night of a reunion-ish kind of thing, and then just gonna hit the speaking circuit, and I have to find me a portable trampoline I can take everywhere. Because you know what I do? I literally get a trampoline on Amazon, have it delivered to the speaking facility, and they're like, "Oh, we'll have it set up for you." They never do, so it takes I got to get the whole thing set up and stuff. But no, I can't wait, man. When I get the firm dates, I'm gonna hook up with you there for sure. And I know you got to go, so I really appreciate the time, my friend.
We'll hit the stage and do dueling trampolines. We'll do it.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
All right, brother. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's it. I don't want to end the show, but we need to do that. Unfortunately, you and I will probably talk another 3 hours after the show. It's late there, but no, I'll respect your time as well for sure. But ladies and gentlemen, I gotta say, this has been the amazing Mr. Scott Ferguson.
Thanks
on the Mind Body Business Show. I am your host, Brian Kelly. I cannot wait for the next episode. I don't know how it's going to be tough to compare to this one, but I'll tell you what.
You got a stud guest coming up next week and
every
Thursday,
guest
so it's going to be awesome, man. That's awesome.
Every single one, but every single time the bar gets raised even more. You just did it, my friend. Good job. All right, that's it. So long, everyone.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate for coming in, tuning in, listening. Once again, we'll be back again in just a couple days this time. Until then, so long. Be blessed, everyone. Make a difference.
Love your guts, peeps.
Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.